We talked about a few things, and I realized with that last conversation I had with him, where the impact, I still had unfinished business with Impact, and still a lot of things that I wanted um, to do that I haven't done yet, and so I decided to stay. So
What's up, brother?
hey, what's up? Sorry about that. I had to download the app because I had to switch phones.
Believe me, I've had the most phone issues the last few days. I had some kind of software malfunction, and now I literally it shut down my cellular use. I can't get and receive calls. It's been insane. So I get it.
Yeah, but I'm all set now. So
There you go. Do you like going by Moose or Quinn? What's your preference?
Moose is better.
All right, sounds good. It's kind of crazy because like I ask sometimes professional wrestlers like, your ring name kind of becomes your essence in a sense, and right? Does that feel the same way? People call you that in public. Does it kind of become in a sense like subconsciously you feel like that's your name too?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I go by Moose. Everybody calls me that. So
Yep.
it's kind of my thing now.
There you go. How's everything? How's life? Where are you at actually right now?
I'm at home. Just came back from tapings in Cincinnati, and we have tapings this weekend. So I'm at home trying to prepare, rest up, and make sure my body works for this weekend.
There you go. Where's home for you?
Orlando.
Orlando. There. It's how come a lot of wrestlers live in Orlando. What is it about Orlando in a sense? Is it kind of like a central spot or I know back in the day Impact was based out of there too. But how did you end up in Orlando basically?
I don't know. It was just I decided I wanted. I used to live in Atlanta and
Mhm.
needed a change, and a bunch of my friends lived in Orlando, so I moved to Orlando. But I think most of the reason why most wrestlers live here is because WWE has their performance center out
Yep.
here, and a bunch of the guys were signed to WWE before they started releasing everybody. So
Mhm.
everybody just keeps their home at Orlando still.
Guess that makes sense. Plus, Impact does a lot of, I guess, southern states, right? Tennessee, Kentucky, those are a lot of kind of hotbeds for especially Impact too. So I guess travel wise, that sort of works too. You don't have to go all the way across the country.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So how is everything in Cincinnati under siege? I mean, I kind of like that was like the most stacked Saturday night. I mean, you guys had a pay-per-view, you had UFC going, and then you had the Canelo fight. I was like, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
watching tonight. That was a stacked
Which
night of.
that's I was surprised he lost. I mean, I'm not a big boxing guy.
Mhm.
Obviously, since Mayweather, he's my favorite fighter, and he hasn't fought in a couple of years, so
Yeah.
I haven't really followed boxing. But I do know Canelo was like the hottest boxer out there, and he lost. So I was kind of like surprised when I saw that on ESPN.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, that guy had a streak
And
going.
like, yeah, he not only did he lose, he lost bad, like lost like every round. So it was kind of weird to see that.
Yeah, I was like trying to juggle three different shows at this, and all was sort of at the same time too. What a busy
Right,
weekend of fights and everything. Whatever taste palate you had it on that Saturday night.
right.
So now you guys are heading to Florida. Do you are you used to the travel schedule? I know the pandemic, you guys were more centered. Obviously, all the companies were centered in like a one location. But are you glad to be back, kind of on the road and traveling? Obviously, getting the live fans too. How has that been re-engaging back to that after kind of not having that for a while?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, it's busy, but I like busy. Like, I mean, obviously, when you're doing something you love to do in professional wrestling, you don't mind all the shows you get to work. But yeah, I'm having fun with it. And hopefully, we get more shows in. I wouldn't mind that.
Mm-hmm. It's there's nothing like the live crowd. I think like I don't even know how wrestling functions with our live crowd. It was so weird during a pandemic watching and just kind of like crickets or artificial sound. It's part of the nature of wrestling. I think is that the chants, the live crowd. I can only imagine what it's like to be a performer was how difficult during those times.
Right. I mean, it was definitely hard, but like I said, that's behind us now, and just glad and happy that we have fans coming to every show. And then on the other end of it, we've been selling out a lot of those shows and having full houses, so that's even better.
Yeah, no question. Fans were waiting for a long time to get back to it. Now it's good that, nothing like taking it in person. It's crazy because you're kind of now the old guard in Impact. You've been around for a while when you look back at it. You've been through a lot of different tenures and, roster changes. How do you feel where the company is at right now, with talent wise and production, everything else, versus some of the previous years that you were part of different interpretations in it, in a sense? How do you feel? How do you stack it up, the current, status of Impact?
I mean, easily this run now in this last few years, especially since the new regime took over with Scott Demore running everything, is definitely the best times in the company's era, I think, especially since I've been here. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how bigger we get, and how better things are, because it's great right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it seems like you guys have a lot of freedom. I mean, I've been watching back, for years, when it was TNA in the beginning, then when the whole influx of like the big star names like Kurt Angle and all these kind of came through. And then, Impact has a lot of, in a sense, a roller coaster ride, but it's always managed to, I feel like, better than almost any company, kind of be like a chameleon, adapt to new ways, and keep on kind of going and changing themselves. And they haven't been afraid to that. I think that's been a credit to the company, how they've always kind of haven't stood still in a lot of ways, whether talent comes or goes, but they've been always evolving. Have you noticed that evolution too, through your run there too?
Yeah, obviously you have to right edge with what you have, and I think what we're showing now is that Impact is a place that stars are made and people want to come to. Just look at the few names that we've gotten to the company with Morrissey and the Iconics coming
Yeah.
in, and EY coming back a couple of years ago, and yeah, and me and Yin making coming back to the company. So it just shows that this is a company where stars want to come to, and myself signing back, and Josh Alexander signing back, that
Yeah.
stars want to stay. So we just have to keep doing what trending upwards, and let's see if we can get draw in a few big names to come back or come to the company.
Well, they are, and it's cool because now with a lot of options out there, it's cool to see Impact pick up. Like you mentioned, Iconics were there, and a lot of wrestlers are liking what you guys are doing. Did you ever consider like seriously leaving, or is this kind of your home, in a sense? Because it's good to see you actually resign, and not jump for a different opportunity. I give you a lot of credit, kind of staying with the company that, you really made a name for yourself and sticking for the long term. Were you seriously kind of, exploring other options, or you knew this is the place you always wanted to be at and stay long term?
I mean, like I said, I forgot what interview I had, but yeah, this before I resigned, I was almost out the door, leaving to go elsewhere, and I had a last talk with Scott, and we talked about a few things, and I realized with that last conversation I had with him, where the Impact, I still had unfinished business with Impact, and still a lot of things that I wanted to do that I haven't done yet, and so I decided to stay. So,
Is there anyone?
which is a plus for the company, because, like I said, that shows that uh, Impact and Scott Demore has the power and Impact is a great enough company that makes stars want to stay and stars want to come. So
No question. Is there anyone still in Impact or even outside of that you really want to face? I mean, I remember the big Omega fight that you guys had. That was big time. But anyone kind of you're pining for, especially now that you're back, resigned for hopefully the long term. Anyone, any storyline, anything particular you're itching to kind of do?
I'm not big on dream matches. I'm in that zone in my career where I could wrestle anybody and have an outstanding match with anyone. So I'm up to wrestle anybody. If the fans, whatever the fans want to see, if somebody could, if they could make it happen, let's do it. But I personally don't like making up dream matches because it's like I said, I'm at a point where I could have a dream match with anybody. I could have a great match with anybody. So
I like that. I think it's a confidence and being a veteran in a sense, I
yeah,
think that, when you get to a certain point in your career, whatever the career is, you just focused on what's in control and doing your best work. And definitely sounds like that's where you're at right now.
yeah, definitely.
Another thing, you had a pretty good NFL career, I'd say. Being in a league, just as any player who makes it like a couple of years, you're there. You had a nice run, I'd say, in NFL. How do you kind of look back on that experience and what it made you kind of to be who you are now as a wrestler? I mean, that's a whole different life in a sense, to live these two lives of a professional wrestler and of an NFL player. How do you kind of look back at that experience now?
I loved it. I mean, without the NFL, I definitely wouldn't be where I am now. Being in the NFL for 7+ years definitely
Yeah.
taught me a lot about being a grown up and being a mature man. So it definitely taught me discipline and a bunch of other stuff. So without my 7+ years in the NFL, I definitely wouldn't be the mature adult that I am today and accomplish some of the things inside the ring that I have without my time in the NFL.
Do you still follow? Do you have a team that you follow? Like, are you still like geared on the couch on Sundays? Like, how is still NFL resonating in your life?
I don't really watch it much. I kind of left that life alone. I mean, the only time every year you could guarantee I'm going to watch the game is probably the Super Bowl. Because I'm probably going to bet a few people on what team I think is going to win. But other than that, I don't really watch it. I don't really keep up with it.
Interesting. What sort of things do you like to do for fun? I know you obviously being a professional wrestler, you're on the road a lot, traveling, city to city. But when you have some free time, what do you kind of like to do for fun hobbies or just kind of to lay back?
I work out a lot. Watch movies, play video games. I'm pretty much a normal human being when I'm not in the ring. So yeah, hang out with my wife. Yeah, but I'm a big in the house guy, so I like to be home. And when I'm home, I just find different ways to keep myself entertained.
What's you mentioned games? Are you a Xbox, PS, PlayStation guy?
Oh,
Like,
I have them all. Like I have every
yeah.
single game system. So there's some games that there's a game in each system that I don't mind playing to kill some time. So yeah, but I definitely have a PS5, Xbox One, the Switch.
Oh wow, you really got it
Yeah,
all.
yeah, I do. Yeah,
And the Switch is always good on the road too, right? Especially if you're flying town to town, right? I mean, that's convenient.
right. Yeah, definitely have to bring it on the road. Yeah.
Any shows or movies you're watching, like anything you binge on, or either movie wise or you've seen lately that really stood out to you?
The last movie I've seen, I honestly was the Doctor Strange movie that came out of
Okay,
theaters.
did you like it? What were your thoughts on it?
I loved it. Honestly, I love anything Marvel. I'm not hard to please at all. So I'm a big comic book guy. So I loved it a lot. I love how they sh- um they portrayed how strong Wanda or Scarlet Witch
Yep.
is, because that's really how she's probably the most powerful one of the most powerful characters in the whole Marvel world. So, and I love how they portrayed that. So, yeah, I was a big fan of it. I loved it.
That's a good takeaway. That is so true. That's like that's someone who's read the comics that knows that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
did you like the new Batman with Robert Pattinson? Did you see that one?
Oh yeah, I love that too. It's funny because I people love, we're in the era where people love to rate stuff. Oh, this is the
Yeah.
best Batman, and I hate doing that because it's two different movies, and I hate rating this new one to the Dark Knight because the Dark Knight, the Joker made that movie what it was.
Yep.
Where this Batman made this movie what it was, and I love both of them. But coming out this Batman, I think it showed this was a true depiction of what Batman is,
Mhm.
master detective. I think they did a great job on portraying what Batman is. So I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed how they depicted Batman because that's how he is in the comic books. He's like the
Yeah.
best detective ever in the history of detective.
It
Where
was a detective story. That's the thing we haven't seen
yeah,
with other Batman movies. Yep.
right, and yeah, and every other Batman movie make Batman to be the rich,
Playboy.
spoiled,
Yeah.
and yeah, playboy. And
Yep.
I mean, in the comic books, Batman is. If you watch the Batman movies and every other Batman, you would think Batman and Iron Man is the same character. They're playboy, rich, do whatever they want. And
Yep.
Batman wasn't in the comic books, was more of a like he had the money and can do that, but he was really all about doing work and
Hmm.
fighting crime, and he was a master detective. So I love the Robert Pattinson Batman because it showed that side of him.
You think DC can now catch up to Marvel? I know they're reshuffling a lot. They have new with that Discovery merger. They have the new like ownership and everything in there. You think they can finally start putting out stuff? I mean, I think this is a really good start, right? That, but like create the universe, kind of the Snyder universe, and fix that up, or do you think they
I
should like
don't.
restart it?
I don't think they should try to compete with Marvel. Like
Uh
I
huh.
hate I hate when I hate the whole competition thing. Like just be different. Like
They were good when they
um
were dark with Man
yeah,
of Steel. You know?
yeah, and I think that's what they need to do with that. Kind of like the same thing they did with Batman and the
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman and the Justice League, the Snyder cut at least. Make it dark, make it different. Like
Mhm.
let Marvel be the comedy and action and but make your movies more dark, and that's a big difference between both universe, you know. So I hate the whole, oh, let's catch up to Marvel. No, you're never going to catch up to them. Just make yours or alternative, something different.
Yeah, you're right, and that's exactly how it should be. Like they went darker, and then they kind of paused because they wanted to, compete with Marvel. Marvel is like more PG, kid friendly, but it's got a
Yeah,
long run in them. They've been around for a while. They had success established. I think DC, like what they did with this Batman, I think you should go that route. Make it kind of cinematic, like a movie, but using superheroes to it.
yeah, and I think that's what they need to do. Make it
Yep.
more dark, where, like you said it the best. Like Marvel is more for PG for
Yeah.
kids and like young adults and teenagers. Well, make the DC world more adults, like you know what I'm saying, and
Hmm.
more of like a real movie, like, and I think that's what they need to do, and it would definitely hit a different crowd, and I think that's what they need to do. Like, stop the whole, oh, we need to catch up on what Marvel has done for 30 years or whatever
Yeah,
since
you're
the
not
first
catching
time.
up to that. They have
You're not,
established everything. They even like,
yeah,
I think the best thing would be for also DC to have a Kevin Feige type of figure overlooking the DC movies too, to have a clear vision for it, but someone running it. You need that kind of the executive, the GM, kind of overlooking that too. But too many cooks in the kitchen and you never get that right genre and vibe to it.
no, yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah. Hey, before I let you go, I've been doing this for a lot of interviews. I don't know if you're into like useless information and facts, but I got a book of like useless information. We're going to pick a page and learn some random facts. Sounds
Okay,
good?
let's do it.
All
Yeah.
right. So it's got 182 pages. Pick a page and we'll learn whatever's on it.
Okay.
Anything? Anything from 1 to 182. What are you going with?
Let's go one. First page.
Go from the start. Okay, I haven't had that one. Okay, so here is some real life facts. Happy Birthday to You is the most often sung song in America. I can see that.
I can see that because somebody has a birthday every day. So
right. So yeah, it would give you a reason. Sleeping Beauty slept for 100 years. I think I heard that somewhere actually.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh wow. Queen Elizabeth I had more than 2,000 dresses. Damn.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah,
that's insane. Okay, there's 3 more. Sharks are the only fish that can blink with both eyes.
I could blink with both eyes. I just did it.
So you're kind of like a shark, right? And I mean,
yeah.
You could take one.
Oh, you said shark is the only fish that can blink with both eyes.
Yeah, is the only fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I didn't know that. And I don't really care for that. So the first 3 facts you gave me is kind of like, oh wow, but the shark thing, okay, whatever.
More presidents have been born in the state of Virginia than any other state.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's probably, I'm guessing like the original presidents probably came because it all started kind of, in the East Coast. So I'm guessing that's where it kind of started. And okay, and Christopher Columbus had blonde hair for whatever it's worth.
Oh, I didn't know that. I couldn't tell you what Christopher Columbus looked like. So
yeah, I don't either. I mean, there's been movies I think done in shows, but
yeah,
I didn't know there's like a definitive blonde hair look for him.
Right.
Hey, been a fan for a long time. This has been really cool to get to talk to you. I love what you're doing and have been doing with Impact, and I'm glad that you're back. It feels like home to even watch you there, So it's good to know you're going to have continue your run there. And you guys are in Florida, right? Citrus Brawl this weekend. So
right behind, 35 minutes away from me. So
how convenient driving over.
Yeah, so happy I don't have to hop on a plane this weekend.
And hey, we're like a month away from Slammiversary. And we know that's one of the prime shows of the whole year for Impact. So that's gonna be big. Hopefully we're gearing up with some good storylines for Slammiversary. Always surprises too, right? I feel like Slammiversary always got a shock or a major debut or something.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I'm excited for it. So
awesome. Hey, Moose, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me and share your, superhero knowledge there for the world too. So now they know that side of you. And hope to catch up, and I'll be watching.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Take care, bud.
Bye.